Neon. Well, you're talking to the right girl. I just moved back here, right over Fitchman's Deli. I was born here. I was nursed in the neon glow of smoked meat, smoked meat, smoked meat. I guess I moved back here for the poetry of that color at night. See, neon's big for me. It jigs my memory. It sparks me. It's what I know. It's my hobby. Ever since I was 8 years old, they put this Virgin Mary in the yard in St. Anthony's with this beautiful cold blue neon halo. Oh, I wanted one. Yeah, it's my obsession, neon, my passion. I can sit and stare at that light till my eyes water. If you're ever in the country, look directly at the sun. Shut your eyes quickly. It looks like neon, sorta. I took a walk last night with some gin, some Gilbys, and a paper bag. Check out the neighborhood, see some old signs. You know, most of them are cold. Dead, cadavers. Carlos Camera cold. Tucson Theater. Tucson Theater's out. Ted's Coffee Shop. I mean, that's my coffee shop. That sign's dead. Canary's cold. This big red furniture sign I loved, and it's gone dark. Luscombe's White House Cafe, no more. Right? I mean, it's corpses. I've got such a hangover today, you wouldn't believe it. Well, zoning bylaws, right? Crap like that. They're just letting these beautiful signs rot. I mean, beautification programs. You talk about beautification programs. No, they're just letting these memories of mine turn to junk, litter. Claude Neon, yeah? This guy in France, this French guy, George Claude. Someone really began to spread this stuff around. Now, most people think it's someone named Claude Neon, but it's just his company name. He sounds like a guy, though, huh? Claude Neon's weird. The very first sign in the States was the Packard Motor sign in L.A., installed in 1923, same day as my birthday. By the late 20s, early 30s, it was a big deal. You know, traffic would stop. Sometimes there'd be car accidents. Top stars like Joan Crawford or Mickey Rooney had cut the ribbon on a new sign. Thousands of people had come out. It was like a big party. You know, I was too young, of course, I didn't see it. But in 1937, they put 32,000 feet of pink neon on the Eiffel Tower, Paris, France. Another Hollywood star, Stephen Fetchit, had his signature neon in his Rolls Royce. I didn't see that either, though. My parents would always take me to Broadway. If a new sign was going to light up, or a spectacular, you know spectaculars, right? Huge, right? Mammoth. This guy, Douglas Lee, was responsible for Broadway mostly. He's an amazing guy.
I've always looked for one dimension beyond the norm. You can do a neon spectacular, that's fine. But neon was no longer the novelty in 1933 that it was in the 20s. What I wanted to do was inject elements into a combination of electric displays such as steam, water, soap bubbles, and weather predictions and things like that, which helped my displays to catch on.
I got his autograph. I had to hang around his office building almost 2 days. He's like a hero to me. Amazing guy.
The Camel Smoke Ring Spectacular ran for 26 years on Broadway, and the public reaction was terrific. People would line up on the sidewalks and watch it and kind of marvel at it, and they would ask questions, wonder how they do that. That'd be the one thing. And even today, when I meet somebody new and they know I do the signs on Broadway, they say, oh, are you the man who did that? You know, always exactly that. Are you the man who did the smoke ring display? Well, it has proved to be the most memorable display that we, I guess, have ever put on Broadway. We had one little mishap on the opening night. You see, you get the steam from the New York Steam Company, a utility. underground, pipes it all over the city. And we put the steam on, and the plumber who had put the steam line in had failed to put in a steam trap, which separates the water from the steam, and it sprayed all out on the people below, hot water, you know.
In the 40s, I dated a bender. No, I didn't. I lived with, was in love with, was nearly married this bender who dropped me one frosty February. I never really got over it. A bender, Tubes Bender's the guy who makes the signs. See, he makes whatever you want. You know, neon Marilyn Monroe, your name 10 stories high, whatever. He first asked me out. I was 14 years old. Had to sneak out of the house. I loved him. Benders still do exactly the same way, right? Heat up the glass tubes. It's all done by hand. There used to be thousands of them. Now there's maybe a few hundred, right? It's a dying art. It takes years to really know what you're doing, when to come out of the fire, keeping the glass soft, following the form, how to cool it. It's subtle, right? You probably think it's all neon. No, that's not true. Like, neon's only orange red. See, different gases make the different colors mixed with this powdered coating. It's complicated. There's krypton, helium, xenon. There's argon. That's my favorite. It's lavender. You know your gases. You can make 150 different colors. In the 40s, after the war, Bender and I are kind of moving around, making signs, checking out the place. You name the place, we probably worked there. You name the sign, he probably made it. Particularly Route 66, you know, like the TV series. You know, during the war, they had to turn off Times Square because it was so bright, it lighted up the ships out at sea, and the subs could see them. Oh, that's what they tell me. Now, this is really the happiest time of my life. It's romantic and traveling around right after the war. Everywhere was a party. The late 40s, man, up to 52, you know, an excellent time on 66. Springfield, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Salt Lake City, Utah. We worked Amarillo, Alamogordo, worked Las Cruces, Deming, Arizona. We were in Wilcox, Denver, Tucson, Cochise, Casa Grande. We worked Yuma, Calexico, San Diego, hung around in St. George, Utah, Ogden, Utah. I really liked Ogden. Rio Blanco, Rifle, Colorado, Rapid City, Scotts Bluff, Laramie, Sioux City, Tacoma, Walla Walla, Spokane, Yakima, Boise, Helena, Flagstaff, Winslow, Mesa, Tampa, Benson, Nogales, North Platte, Omaha, Lincoln, Des Moines. Yeah, we were in Canada too, right up to Alaska. Spent time in Hamilton, Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, saw the Stampede there. Kingston, Picton, Bloomfield, Wellington, Niagara Falls. Spent quite a while there. There was some Yukon time in Vancouver, not long, you know, then down to Washington State, Oregon. I love that Ding Ho Cafe sign in Salt Lake City, Utah. I figured that's some of his best work. You know, the big demand for signs was bars, right? Chinese restaurants, movie marquees. Wasn't really a downtown business, in my estimation, without a decent sign. Yeah, I go to the movies for the marquee, more for the stars. You know what I mean? And we'd live around in roadside hotels and that, ate these hot chicken sandwiches with fresh frozen peas, egg foo young, Snickers bars, Mars bars, crispy crunch. That's the kind of food I really like. I guess after a while we just got bored, hungry for the Big Apple, so around May of '52 we just headed back to New York. The 50s, right? Everyone's taken off, Everyone's in cars, on the move. Bender caught the bug, too, I guess. He took off. I haven't seen him since July 19th, 1952. He walks out to get a fruit Danish something. He just doesn't come back. 2 days later, I march my wounded ego down to the dealership, Marchand's. I pick up a Chevy convertible, candy apple red, tease my hair. I had the biggest hair around in the 50s, and I took off straight to Vegas, which is where I figured he was. And I'll tell you, I was prepared to kiss him, take him back, still am. Won't fool me, huh? 50s, right? It's all shopping malls, burger stops, super highways, motels. Every damn sign acquired a flashing arrow, a swinging arm, some kind of movement, right? Just trying to get the cars to come in off the road. Not me, though. I drove straight through. Stopped for coffee twice, made it in 4 days flat. Oh, God, Vegas. I arrived in Vegas. Vegas is neon. Miles of it. Shapes, colors, flashing, soaring. Tom Wolfe. In this Tom Wolfe book I read, he made up his own phrases like boomerang modern, palette curvilinear, Flash Gordon, Ming alert, spiral, Mint Casino elliptical, Miami Beach kidney. I got a few like dancer leg parabola or loser slump arc. My secret is I love Vegas. It's my kind of town. I was dealing blackjack at the Pioneer Club this night. In comes Lee Marvin. So Marvin loses big. He walks outside. He shoots the hand off the Pioneer Club cowboy. He used to be the arm would rock back and forth. Don't do much rocking now, though. Stuff like that. It's all true. And I was in Vegas off and on in the 60s. Oh, things were wide open. Everybody's doing their own thing. Groovy, that stuff. But like people are talking to people. Oh, I met the most amazing people. I hung out with artists, poets, musicians, that sort of thing, thanks. See, I dated a lot of artists. I like men who work with their hands, creative men. Hit both coasts. I just get into the weather in LA. I miss the sleaze of New York, back and forth. 60s and 70s. Oh, there's this fabulous character. Rudy Stern has a place on West Broadway. Let There Be Neon. He even wrote a book on it. Visit there when I go to New York. Had breakfast with the guy, when I'm in New York City.
What we're interested in doing with Let There Be Neon, and what we have been interested in doing from the beginning, is to make the medium of neon accessible. So that if somebody has a fantasy of a neon sunrise, we can make it for them.
There's a couple of things I'm going to get made at some point. I guess it was in '66, this woman artist, Chrissa, a Greek immigrant, she did this just incredible neon sculpture. The gates to Times Square, wonderful, huge thing, 10 feet tall, right? Amazing. Yeah, I'd really like to meet her. But then around then, all these artists are getting into neon, which is great, right? Look, I never cared much for art before, but with neon, it does make it more friendly. You know what I mean? Now, just down from Rudy Stern's place on West Broadway is Stephen Antonakis' studio. He's a neat guy. He was making neon art pretty early on, mind you. He was the first one I ever met, in fact.
In the 70s, early 70s, I began showing a lot around the country in galleries and museums. And I was beginning now to get the reaction of the general public to neon. It was, for them, unbelievable thing to see, to go to a museum and see large neon tubes on walls or on the floor, what have you. And in reference to the museum, they were very happy because they were very popular shows that would get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in to an exhibition.
All these long tubes, curves, and lines in these big empty spaces. It's funny seeing them inside. But, yeah, it's beautiful.
You're on.
But there's all kinds of other artists into it now. I mean, there's Paul Side. He even blows his own glass, right? There's Dale Kahuli. He does that, too, so they can make the shapes they want, see? And that's right. Let's see, who else is Kisonye, Lee Champagne, Cork Marchese, William Shipman, all kinds of artists. There's Risa, Laddie John Dill, Victoria Rivers, Ted Prescott, William Kane, Billy Apple, Marshall Reyes, Larry Albright, Robert Smithson. I know practically every one of them. At least, you know, I've met them. And there's Fred Escher, Jerry No, Fred Tashida, Eric Zimmerman. You know, I know who they are anyway. My favorite ones really are lilies, I guess.
When I was in art school in New York, I was doing sculpture and painting and not really finding those mediums very exciting. And so I just thought about what it was that really made me feel excited about something and decided that it was neon, and I started to use it as a fine art.
That Lily Lackett, she's a doll. Yeah, she started this gallery in L.A., which is the neatest place. They wanted to call it the Museum of Neon Art, MONA. Well, people thought that was pretty funny. And she started the whole thing out of her own pocket, and some of her friends, of course. Yeah, she's got some old stuff, reconditioned signs, new stuff. It's really a regular museum, right? Oh, you get a real feeling for it all there.
I think that now it's beginning to see some sort of a renaissance in terms of other artists picking up on the creative exploration of the medium, and architects and interior designers are using it as well to decorate buildings and to light the interiors of buildings.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's not just the artists. They're putting it all over. There's a bank in L.A. And there's a dog racetrack near Tucson. There's a John Street tunnel near Wall Street, all blue neon. Yeah, I was in Toronto one time for the exposition. I saw Michael Hayden's stuff. It's interesting. He's done the subway station there. It's the biggest piece in the world. You can't not be impressed. Stephen Antonakis, he did this great piece on the wall of a building on 42nd Street. It's so pretty at night. It's not selling anything or anything like that. It's just there. Yeah, I like that.
Showtime, folks. I want to show you a woman. Come on, give me some money and I'll show you the women. Come on over here if you want to see some women, folks. Come on, you want to see those things going on? 50 cents. Give me some money and I'll show you.
It's weird. I feel like it's my blood coursing through those lights. I see a small sign in a bar over a store. I walk through Times Square along 42nd Street. I fly back to Vegas, and do some gambling, see a few cronies. Every time I see something special in a sign, I want to laugh, cry, I don't know. They're so beautiful, that buzz, the pulsing off and on, the true colors, lavender, red, they're hot, sexy, they make me feel, I don't know. I could never figure out what it is about neon.